Welcome to Virtual
YPSA!
Hello cadets and welcome back for our second Virtual Youth Public Safety Academy episode. Today we'll be learning about proper bike safety and etiquette from our Cambridge Police Department colleagues, and then we will dive right into pool safety with Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan. Take it away, Ken.
Good morning, cadets, and welcome to the Youth Public Safety Academy. Today we're at the Cambridge Police Department, and we're going to talk about bike safety. Follow us. And welcome today to Cambridge Police Department. Today the Youth Public Safety Academy goes on the road. We're going to be talking today with Officer Ozzy Ortiz. He's going to talk to us about bike safety. Officer Ortiz has been working in the bike unit for a number of years now. He's going to give you a little bit of information about his background, but more importantly, he's going to share with us a lot of great safety tips for biking. And actually, Officer Ortiz, I do a lot of mountain biking, so some of the information you share today may also help adults that are out there with some of the parents.
Absolutely.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're going to talk about, first of all, I am not related to the David Ortiz, so I'm going to make sure he gets that one right. So today we're going to be talking about bicycle helmets, how important the helmet is when you're out there riding your bike, skateboarding, or if you're just on rollerblades. Helmets are very, very important. So we're going to talk about how to properly fit a helmet, how a helmet should fit and how it should look once you put it on. All right. So we'll start off first of all with the straps. All right. As you see, the straps, they clip in and they clip out. All right. Got a little release button here. Okay, so the way the helmet goes on is it fits nice and tight. Okay, you want it nice and snug. And on some of these newer model helmets, they have a little tension bar in the back, tension levels here, knob that you could adjust the tightness or if you need it loose. All right, so I'm gonna open it up. All right, put it on. Okay, it's too loose, so I want to snug it up a little bit by turning the valve. See, it doesn't move too much. That's what you want. You don't want the helmet to be moving all around as you're riding your bike. All right, now we got the straps. Okay, now on these straps, okay, this here is the V. All right, your ears go into the V. All right, so it goes just like this. See that? You get the V right into the ear. Okay. And then it has a little up and down level. You can tighten it up a little bit, snap it up. This here is too tight. Okay? You want to loosen up the straps. You don't want to choke yourself, all right? So you want to loosen up the straps.
So safe but no choking.
Safe but no choking, exactly. You know? And the way we do that, okay, it can be a little tricky sometimes.
And as you're doing that, Officer Ortiz, I know you're trying to loosen it up a little bit, but when it's too loose, that's also not good.
Oh, no, you don't want it too loose.
Yeah.
What you want, what you're trying to do is, you want to get 2 fingers underneath the straps, okay? This is pretty good. 1 finger, 2 fingers, it's pretty good. It's not too tight. It could be loosened up a little bit, but this is perfect, okay? All right, now, as you can see, it covers the forehead, covers the back. You got your ears inside that V. That's very important. What you don't want is this when you're riding your bike. You don't want to show your forehead. You want to protect the forehead. Because if you fall off your bike, you want the helmet to do its job, and that is to protect your head. All right? There's a lot of vital tissues in the brain. All right? You don't want to jeopardize that.
And
okay.
I know during the course of the year, a lot of kids go to the hospital for concussions.
Absolutely.
And so wearing the helmet significantly reduces
the odds
of that happening.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely. Whether you're on your bike or your scooter, rollerblades, whatever.
And
you want to wear your
helmet. I'm glad you mentioned the rollerblades and the scooter. I didn't even think like the scooter, and especially in the inner cities, you see that a lot nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially those little motorized ones. Those are pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Never had those when I was a kid. I actually had to exercise.
Yeah.
Doesn't show, but.
Right. So that's important. And then the other thing is too is you want to make sure, if I can loosen up this strap a little bit more, I just want to demonstrate what you don't want when you're wearing your helmet. It is a pain once in a while, but we'll get it.
But it's worth taking that extra minute.
Absolutely.
So as you're
Let me
doing that
see.
too, how many years have you been on the Cambridge Police Department?
Oh, I've been on 28 years. I've been riding the bike probably about 27 years. I also work in the schools. I'm a resource officer. So I work in 2 of the schools. One of the schools is being a bilingual school. I also speak Spanish, so that's why they have me in that school. And I go out and do bicycle safety stuff, to the community, to adults. See, this is perfect right here. All right, it fits nice and tight. What you don't want is the helmet to be loose and riding around on your head as you're pedaling. You don't want it this way. You're not looking cool. You don't want it that way. You don't want it back this way, and definitely you don't want it blocking the view. So it's important that the helmet fits you just right. And a lot of these helmets, like I said, they have the strap in the back, the adjuster. You can adjust it, snug it tight is what you want. You want the helmet to do its job. God forbid something happens, you fall off your bike, you want your helmet to do its job, okay? And on the helmet thing is if you get into an accident, once the helmet hits the pavement, the helmet is no good. The helmet is no good, right?
So at that point, you just have to replace that.
You got to replace the helmet,
Yeah.
So if you like to ride your bike, your scooters, or your rollerblades, Christmas coming along, instead of that video game, helmet. Helmet is very, very important. Protects the head.
Awesome, great information. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Now, cadets, we're going to talk about bike safety with the bike and some of the steps you should go through to make sure that your bike is properly prepared to keep you safe when you're riding down the street.
Right.
Officer Ortiz, you want to share some of
Sure.
the things you do, safety checks before you go for a ride?
Absolutely.
Out in the public?
Absolutely. So several things that you want to do, that you want to check before you get on your bike, all right? And that is making sure that your tires that are on the bike, that if you have a bike that has a quick release, you want to make sure that that's in the locking position. Because if not, the tire will come off the bike, and it wouldn't be a good thing.
And then you're going to need your helmet at that point.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. If you're properly wearing your helmet, you'll be good. All right? And that's also the front and also the rear. The rear tire also has a quick release. Okay? Then the other thing, too, it's important, is the chain. You want to make sure that your chain, okay, is properly greased up. All right? You want to make sure you have adequate oil, not much, where it's going to collect a lot of dirt and dust. You know what I'm saying? But you just want to make sure that it's not rusty looking. That's important. And the other thing that's very, very important is your shoelaces. You want to make sure that your shoelaces are on tight. And if they are too long, double tie them, okay? What you don't want is your shoelaces getting into the into the chain and into the spokes, and that could be a bad thing. Okay,
Actually,
so you want to
on
make
that
sure.
Too, I noticed when some people are riding the bike, they actually have like a little stretchy thing
Yep.
holding their pant leg in.
Yep. You could
keeping it
wrap.
tight.
Yes, you could
Yeah, a little elastic.
Absolutely. You could either tuck the pants into your sock. If not, if that doesn't look cool, you could also just wrap it up and strap it up. As Jim said, you could put an elastic band around the pant.
Gotcha.
If it's too long or too baggy. And then you also want to make sure you're wearing comfortable clothing too. That's the other thing. If you're riding out at night, wear something that's going to be visible, that attract light. We have to wear these high-vis shirts, reflectors on it, okay? If you don't have one of these shirts, you could always buy reflectors, because you want to be seen at night. That's very, very important that you're seen at night. And loose pants. You don't want no tight jeans or anything like that. You don't want to restrict yourself as you're pedaling. And the other thing is too that's important is lights. Okay, you have to have a front light. Actually, it's a state law.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it is.
Wow,
It is.
learned something.
You have to have a front light in the front, and also, if you can see here, you got a light in the front. Okay, this one's pretty cool. It does a couple things, and also a light in the rear. Okay, light in the rear. That is so that people that are, as you pass, they could see you. They know you're coming with the front light. And also the other thing is too, an audible horn, some type of audible device, whether it's a whistle, whether it's a little bell on your bike, or something as fancy as this one that bothers the ears.
Yeah.
So those are key. And then,
One quick, when I
Yes.
was a kid, I had that little honking one.
although, yeah, you know what, that works too. But, you know, obviously, this is a, you know, you could do all the little things with this one. And the other thing is I want to go over with is the proper bike height. All right. Somebody like me, I'm 5'11", so I'm going to use a bike that's probably about 21 inches in height. This could be a 20. It's a large bike, large frame. They usually 18 to 21, I think, is the large frame. And then from there, 21 to 23 is the extra large bike. And that bike is too big for me. But this here bike is perfect size for me. And the way you do that, you want to make sure that you got the proper bike, because you don't want a small bike. You're going to cradle your bike, okay? And from this position, I could touch the ground, right? Flat-footed. I'm not this way or not this way. I'm flat-footed, and I can still lift the bike up. That's perfect. This is the perfect bike for me. You know?
And that's the same way, even if you're like a 6 or 8-year-old,
Right.
you would just get a smaller bike, as long as you can hurt
As long,
the
right.
bike comfortably.
Exactly.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
and what I see a lot, and I think it's dangerous, I see a lot of young little kids, you know, on bikes like this.
Right.
And they're pedaling and they're flopping all over the place, just trying to keep the bike steady.
Yep.
And that's a little dangerous, especially if you're out on the road riding your bike. And then, like I said, adjusting the seat, making sure that you have the proper, bend in your knees. So if you're pedaling your bike, you want a proper bend. You don't want to extend the leg, a nice little bend on the legs. That's a probably perfect bend. I probably can come up a little bit more on the seat, but this is perfect. This is the perfect. And also a bag, okay? With this bag, we carry everything. First aid kit, extra Band-Aids. We carry tubes, tools, and also ticket books. Because there is laws in Massachusetts that you got to stop at the red lights. So there is a law, and it is a $25 ticket, $35 ticket now.
So for being on a bike and not stopping at a red
Yes,
light?
oh, that's
Okay,
important.
On a bicycle?
Yes, on a bicycle.
Wow,
Yes,
yeah,
you
okay,
gotta
yep.
you gotta stop. Those are the new laws. Those are some laws that's been
Yep.
enacted for a while now.
And they're for safety.
It's for absolutely,
yep.
absolutely. You wanna ride your bike on the road. You gotta follow the rules of the road. But yeah.
Do you want to just touch upon some of those other things kids may want to be aware of when they're taking corners or whatever, or
Yes.
safety tips like that?
Oh, absolutely. So as you guys could see when you're out with your parents driving around, you see a lot of these bike lanes. Okay, the bike lanes. The bike lanes are there for a purpose. They're there for you guys, as a cyclist, to use. Okay, but also what comes with that is safety. You got to be careful. You gotta, how could I say? You gotta be visible. You can't just ride your bike and not knowing what's going on. You got to look for people that are sitting in their cars because they're going to swing the door open. So you got to make sure you're going to be able to, be able to maneuver your bike out of the way so you don't get doored. Potholes. You got to watch out for potholes. Put it this way: when you're riding your bike in the bike lane or on the street, you want to make sure. You want to know what's going on. What I used to do is I used to count the cars. Believe it or not, I used to count the cars when I pass the cars. So this way I know there's 10 cars behind me as I pass 10 cars. So if, just in case I have to jot out to the street, I know there's a car right behind me coming.
Yep.
So that's important, is knowing where you're at, knowing the safety, knowing your hand signals. That's also key. Hand signals are very, very important.
Okay, now we're going to have Officer Ortiz demonstrate for us hand signals so that when we're out on the roads, we can let the drivers behind us know the direction that we're going to be going with our bikes. Officer Ortiz.
All right. So if you're going north and you want to take a right-hand turn, you would put up your hand to the right. Your right-hand turn, this is a right-hand turn, or you could use your right hand and point it the way you want to go, to the right-hand turn. Now, if you want to take a left, you point to the left.
Okay.
Okay, you point to the left. Now, if you want to stop, you just put your hands out like this.
Okay.
What I usually do is I shake my hand. I just don't put it out. I shake it.
Give a little emphasis.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Or even if I want to take a left-hand turn, I do that. I point out. Or if I want to take the right, I tell them I'm going right.
Yep.
I do something so they could see it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, like I said, this is your right, this is your left, and this is your stop.
And then always give a quick glance over your shoulder.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you want to go left, just don't take the left.
Yep.
Put your arm out there, take a look, make sure there's no cars coming,
Yep.
and then take the left.
And then, of course, pedestrians or dogs.
Yes, absolutely,
Yep. Okay.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
What about your telephone while you're on your bike?
Oh, no, you don't want to be on your phone because then you're not paying attention to the road.
Okay.
Paying attention is very important. You just don't want to be on your phone and not know what's going on.
So the same as mom and dad shouldn't be looking at
No,
the text.
it's same thing when
Same
they're
on-
driving
kids on a
in the
bike.
car. Yes, exactly. If mom and dad are not supposed to be on their phones or
Yep.
texting while they're driving,
Yep.
you shouldn't do it while you're riding your bike.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, one thing I noticed is you have your reflectors on here.
Yes.
I have to admit, when I was a kid,
Tennis
I got
balls.
my bike, the first thing that came off the bike was the reflectors.
Alright.
But so talk a little bit about the reason they have those on there. And
Yeah, so the reason why the reflectors are on this is that, so at nighttime, when you're riding in the motor vehicle, the lights of the cars hit the tires, they'll see these tires spinning. So they're gonna know if you have no other light on your bike, the reflectors will work as a light for the cars so that they know you're there, they could see you. That's why they're there, that's why they put them there. So don't make that mistake and take them off, leave them on. Because if you don't have a light, a front light and a rear light, those things, reflectors will work as a light. You know what I'm saying? For the oncoming traffic, that it'll see you.
Okay.
Those are very, very important.
I know,
Yep.
I noticed you have the water bottle holder
Yes,
there.
a water bottle.
Right now it's 90 degrees outside.
Oh,
on the
you
day
wanna stay
today. Thank God
hydrated.
we're in the basement today,
Yes.
not in the garage.
Yep. Water bottle is very important.
So we want to hydrate just like you would
Hy-
any other exercise?
Yep. You want to make sure you're hydrated. You're drinking a lot of water. You don't want to cramp up if you're going for these long bike rides with mom and dad. So you want to make sure you have a lot of water. You're drinking a lot of water. That's very, very important that you stay hydrated.
Another question I have is, I see more and more on the news, you hear about bikes being stolen. And not only in the city, of the
Everywhere.
country, and it's actually a big issue. I go up to the White Mountains a lot.
Yeah.
And people are taking them up, off of people's cars, out of campsites.
Yep,
What
yep.
recommendations do you have for, you've made this big investment, how do you keep it
It's
from
ge-
those dishonest people?
Right. It's getting the proper lock.
Okay.
Getting a lock that's gonna do the work. Some type of strong lock, a kryptonite lock that, you wanna, if you, like I said, if you have the bikes with the quick release tires, you wanna take your front tire off, you wanna lock it to the frame with your U-lock, and you wanna chain it up to something that's fastened into the concrete, something where they're not gonna be able to lift the bike over the object that you locked it on. You wanna lock it to a fixed object.
Okay.
If not, bring it inside the house.
Okay.
Bring it inside the house. The bikes are expensive these days. They're not cheap anymore. And that's a big thing. And the other thing too is serial numbers. Write down the serial numbers. Yes, the
idea,
color of the
yes,
bike,
yeah.
the serial numbers. And where you can find the serial numbers, there are several different locations. On this bike, the serial number would be underneath the crank of the bike. If you flip the bike over, you'll see some set of numbers with some letters. Those are your serial numbers. You'll find that there. Or even marking your bike with something. Get one of those little markers that gets into the metal.
Yep.
One of those.
Engraver or
An
something?
engraver.
Yep, yep,
Yes,
yep.
perfect. An engraver, and engrave your name on it, or engrave something, and just keep that to the side. So just in case if your bike does get stolen, you can find it.
Okay. Any other suggestions or thoughts you want to share? This was awesome. First of all, being a guy that likes bikes and mountain biking, you guys have a great collection on the other side of the wall. You got a great workshop here.
Yeah. We do our little maintenance on our bikes. Once in a while I'll come down with my own personal bike, the work bike, and I do my little things, making sure that it's always tuned up. Making sure that your bike is properly tuned is key, and the bike will last you a long, long time. All I say is, when you're out there riding, whether it's the bike, skateboard, or you're out there rollerblading, helmet. Or even if you're out there rollerblading, forgot to touch up on was your pads, elbow pads and knee pads are also important when you're out there rollerblading or you're skateboarding. And just, be aware of your surroundings when you're on your bike. If you're riding out in the park, just watch for other bikes. Making sure that you can be able to control your bike is important. Making sure that you can control it. If you can control your bike, you'll be good. And making sure that your helmet's on, properly fitted, you know, and you have a good ride, you have a good day.
So right now we're in the middle of the Olympics.
Yes.
On the Olympics, they had the 13-year-old won the skateboarding.
The skateboarding, I've seen that.
Had a helmet.
Yes.
And had the pads.
Had the pads, absolutely.
And that's winning a gold medal.
Right.
So if it's cool enough for
If
them.
that, it's cool enough for
Yep.
you. That's
Yep.
right.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Officer Ortiz, this has been absolutely phenomenal.
Well, thank you.
for
Thank
inviting
you.
us into the police station here
Thank
and
you
into
for
your
having me.
shop.
Yeah.
Any other last thoughts you want to share, or?
No, just, you know, when you're out there riding, just be safe and have a good summer. Enjoy it. You know, hopefully next year we'll be back in class and, you know,
Yes.
get to see those faces again and, you know, having a good time. It's a good academy.
Awesome.
Yep.
Officer
Yep.
Ortiz, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you
really
for having me.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Stay safe, and thank you for all you do for the
Thank you.
for Cambridge.
You as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan, and I want to start by thanking Sheriff Peter Katusian and the Sheriff's Office for having me here today to talk to you about pool and water safety. I hope all of you are enjoying your summer vacation and you learned a lot about bike safety from the other episodes you watched today. As the warm weather continues and we're able to be outside, everybody knows how much fun it is to be in a pool or a lake on a hot day. And when you're doing that, I want you to just think about how to keep yourself and everyone else safe. And one of the things I'm going to ask you is that you be my ambassadors, that you take the information we talk about today, you share it with your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and your friends, because you want all of them to be safe as well. Now, one of the things that's important to remember is no matter where you are near water, or regardless of what a good swimmer you are, water can pose a lot of challenges. Drowning and other bad things happening at the water can happen to anybody, and they happen really, really fast. A person that's drowning usually only struggles between 20 and 60 seconds, such a short period of time before going underwater. And a lot of times that is either because people forgot to take measures to keep themselves safe, or people don't recognize that somebody's in trouble. We're going to talk today about some of the things you can do to keep yourself safe and what to do if you think someone's in trouble. Two of the most important things are, first of all, you should only ever be swimming in a place where swimming is allowed. Sometimes you're really hot and you see some water and you think it would be great to go in there. You can't do that because, first of all, there won't be anyone there watching you, any lifeguards, and the weather can change, the depth of water can change really fast, and also sometimes you can go into water and not know what's in there. It can be filled with rocks, it can have all kinds of other dangerous things down there that can make it really impossible to swim. So never go into water where you're not allowed to swim, and never jump into water. You know, slipping or falling into the water can be really dangerous. People can get very hurt. The second is never ever go swimming by yourself. No matter how good a swimmer you are, if something happens when you're in the water, if you bang your head or you get a cramp in your leg and you're there alone, you're not going to be able to get any help. You also, things that sometimes we use in the pool, floaties or floats, sometimes make you feel really safe, but that's a false sense of security. So be very careful when you're doing that. The other thing is, I want you to pay really close attention to some of the things that can happen to people in the water, because drowning is not like it is in the movies. People are not waving their arms and yelling, because when they're struggling, first of all, they're using their hands to try to push their head out of the water so they can get some air. So you're not going to see their arms up over their head, and they don't have enough energy to be yelling because they're trying to just get their breath. If you see somebody in the water who's remaining very still, make sure you check on that person. If you see somebody whose head is coming up and down in the water, check on them. They're probably having trouble. If you see somebody with their head tilted back, especially if their mouth is open, check on them. They're probably just trying to get some air. They may be having trouble. If you see somebody in the water who either has their eyes closed or looks like they're just confused, check on them. But most importantly, if you see somebody who looks like they're in trouble in the water, try shoving something to them that they can grab onto, whether it's a float, a piece of wood, a piece of rope, but don't go and try to grab them yourself because they may be so panicked that they'll pull you into the water. Have somebody call 911. If you do get to the person, try to give them CPR. If it's you who's having trouble, put yourself on your back, try to calm down, try to just float. Just try to keep your face out of the water so you can breathe. Follow the current of the water the way that it's going. The most important thing is not to make yourself so tired that you'll go underwater. One of the things we want you to remember is we want everybody to have a wonderful summer, to stay safe, to have a lot of fun, and be ready to go back to school in the fall. So please keep these tips in mind and please spread them widely to everybody you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Ortiz, District Attorney Ryan, and Ken for all that great information as we continue to enjoy the rest of our summer vacation. Our next episode of Virtual YPSA will focus on physical fitness as well as tips and tricks to stay healthy. We'll see you then.